we're over the hump here on Philadelphia week. Two practices in the books, and looking forward to the game on Saturday.
Yep, definitely. All right, so let's start there with the Shedeur update we got from Kevin Stefanski, and then what it means for Saturday and what we could see. Notably, Shedeur was out there in uniform. He didn't throw or anything, but he had pads on, and he was out there.
What if I told you the Cleveland Browns might be hiding one of the most talked about quarterback controversies of the season? Because while Shadour Sanders showed up ready to suit up, he didn't take a single snap. No throws, no reps, just standing in uniform on the sideline. And the reason why? Well, that part gets murky. Meanwhile, Gabriel, the unproven rookie, is somehow getting first-team reps, high-priority snaps, and a suspicious pass on accountability. An interception he threw magically left off the stat tracker. Something isn't adding up. And if you think this is just preseason politics, you're not seeing the full picture. Let's break down everything they won't tell you and why fans think Shedeur is being set up from the start.
I didn't think he even touched a ball, though. He was not holding a ball. He did not even lob a ball prior to the regular practice. No reason to loosen up. He was shut down today. In all likelihood, he will not play. I mean, it's inconceivable that he would play, although the Browns haven't said he's ruled out. It looks like Gabriel and Tyler Huntley for Saturday against the Eagles, and that's it. They don't want to play Joe Flacco.
Shadour Sanders showed up in full uniform, suited and padded, yet didn't throw a single ball, not even a warm-up toss. Now ask yourself, why would a quarterback dress up if he's not taking a single rep? The official report says it's an oblique injury. Definitely painful, sure, especially for a QB. But notice the wording from Brown's staff. He's day by day. We're just being cautious. It almost sounds like they don't want him out there, even if he could go. And fans noticed. Sanders was active on the sideline, helmet in hand, clearly wanting to play. Yet he was quietly shut down. No real updates, no official timeline. Just a vague injury report and a disappearing act from media coverage. This is one of college football's biggest names, entering the NFL with all eyes on him and somehow barely a whisper about why he's being benched. Is this really about health? Or is this just the easiest way to keep him quiet while the team experiments elsewhere? We've already seen what Shedeur can do under pressure. He's been built for the spotlight since day one, so when he's suddenly dressed with no intention to play, fans start asking harder questions. Why isn't Shedeur getting his shot? And more importantly, who's making that decision and why?
So it's kind of the same routine as last week in Carolina, only the other rookie will probably go 3 quarters.
What do we think on a timetable here for Shedeur? Obviously, this is an oblique is something that Kevin said specifically, hey, if this was a guard, they could probably play through it, but with the torque of a quarterback, that kind of thing, it's just, they don't want to push it.
While Shadour Sanders is being sidelined with barely a whisper, Gabriel is quietly sliding into the spotlight, and not everyone is convinced it's based on merit. Gabriel is getting first-team reps. He's playing with the starters. He's being treated like a locked-in prospect, despite having little tape, few standout performances, and questionable results during camp. And here's where things get strange. During practice, Gabriel threw an interception, a clear pick during a 2-point attempt. But if you went to check the stat tracker, it's not there. Vanished. No mention of it in his preseason totals. The excuse? It was a 2-point play, so it doesn't count. Come on. If Shedeur had thrown that exact same ball, every talking head would have torn him apart. Social media would light up with clips, commentary, and criticism. But for Gabriel, it gets swept under the rug, like it never happened. This isn't just about one bad throw, it's about how differently these quarterbacks are being treated. One's being protected, the other's being paused. So you've got Gabriel, with limited credentials, already playing with top-tier teammates, while Sanders watches from the sideline in full uniform. And somehow, the conversation is focused on anything but that. Ask yourself, why does Gabriel get the benefit of the doubt, while Shedeur gets doubt without opportunity? There's a message being sent, and not just to the fans.
And any of these soft tissue injuries that are, totally non-contact, can worsen if you rush it or you don't give it the proper healing time. So, and the proper rehab. So they're being cautious, just like they have with every other quarterback. Gabriel took a while. Pickett is still getting there. And oblique muscle is, anytime you throw and you're a quarterback, you're going to feel that oblique if it's strained. So
at this point, fans aren't just asking questions, they're starting to connect dots. Because when you look at how carefully the Browns are handling Dillon Gabriel, it's hard not to wonder, what exactly are they hiding? Let's start with the so-called injury. Reports floated that Gabriel might be nursing a hamstring issue. But here's the thing, no details, no footage, not even a confirmed timeline to back it up. Just vague whispers. Then suddenly he's back at practice, getting prime reps, while Shedeur goes ghost. And remember that interception the stat sheet forgot to mention? That wasn't just a fluke, it was part of a growing pattern of protection. When Gabriel struggles, it's silence. When he shines, clips flood social media, carefully curated, highly controlled. Even insiders have started to notice. Some reporters called it unusual the Browns running trick plays during joint practices and giving Gabriel a platform built for success. But Shedeur, he's treated like an outsider trying to earn a pass to the party. If you've followed the NFL long enough, you know this isn't random. Teams don't hide things unless they have something to hide. It's not about one throw, it's about the narrative. The Browns appear committed to building up Gabriel's image even if it means sidelining more proven talent. So the real question is, why is one quarterback being groomed while the other is being ghosted?
The coach keeps saying day by day, but next checkpoint will be Monday at practice.
Tuesday.
When we get back.
Next
Tuesday.
Practice is going to be Tuesday. Yep.
Okay, Tuesday at practice. So that'll be the next checkpoint to see if Shedeur can be available for the final game against the Rams in Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely.
So why isn't Shadour Sanders playing? The Browns have stuck to one message. It's the oblique. A soft tissue injury. Painful, sure, especially for a quarterback who relies on torque and rotation. Coach Kevin Stefanski made it crystal clear. If Shedeur were a guard or a linebacker, maybe he could push through. But at quarterback, it's too risky. So they're playing it safe, day by day, with no return date in sight. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's what's raising eyebrows. Shedeur was in full pads. He was on the sideline. He even warmed up body language locked in, helmet ready, cleats laced. Not someone who's scared or struggling, someone ready to play. So, if the injury is truly that limiting, why have him suit up at all? Why send a message that he's close if there's no real plan to let him throw? Some fans believe this isn't about safety, it's about optics. By keeping Shedeur out due to injury, the team avoids backlash for burying a rising star behind a rookie they seem to favor. It's a cleaner look on paper and a quieter strategy in practice. But for those paying attention, the signs are hard to ignore. Shedeur's silence isn't a medical story, it's turning into a media strategy. And each day he doesn't play, that strategy gets harder to defend.
Dillon Gabriel's interception happened on a 2-point attempt. Deontay Johnson, whatever happened on the interception, it did get intercepted. It was on a 2-point attempt. That is why it's not on the tracker, because if this was a game, 2-point attempts do not count as
official statistics. Yeah.
If it was, Flacco would have had another TD because he threw a TD on his 2-point attempt. It was the one.
Yeah.
So please, anybody watching this, if you're in my mentions, I'm sorry. It would have been better for us if Gabriel had an interception because the tracker would have done more numbers because you guys hate when he does or when he love when he does bad. So
it's 2-point try and it went off of Deontay Johnson's hands. And
look, I don't want to give an excuse or whatever. Yeah, but that is why. So if you're watching this and you follow the tracker, please stop tweeting or keep tweeting me. But I am just giving an explanation on that.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. This entire quarterback situation feels off. On one side, you've got Shadour Sanders, a proven talent with deep football DNA, mental toughness, and actual high-pressure game experience. We've already seen what he can do when the stakes are real. He doesn't just show up, he delivers. Then there's Dillon Gabriel. Less experience, less proven, more protected. Yet somehow he's been gifted starting reps, better receiver rotations, and even a media shield to filter out every misstep. It's not just unfair, it's painfully obvious. And if we're being real, Shedeur has earned every opportunity that's being handed to Gabriel. He's put in the work, stayed locked in during every camp, and delivered when the lights were brightest. But instead of being tested, he's being tucked away and labeled as day-to-day. Meanwhile, Gabriel throws a pick, and the response is radio silence. How does that make sense? If this preseason is supposed to be a quarterback battle, then where's the actual competition? Because from the outside, it doesn't look like one at all. It looks like a decision that was made before either quarterback even stepped on the field, and fans aren't blind to it. The double standard is loud, and it's getting harder to ignore. Because let's be honest, if the roles were reversed, everyone would be asking why Shedeur is playing at all.
Tony, on the trick plays, I wanted to ask you this. You've seen a lot more joint practices in these practices than me. Have you ever seen trick plays ran before against any other team defense? Is this unusual? I saw some Philly guys commenting like, wait, the Browns are running trick plays against the Eagles defense? Like,
if the Browns thought nobody would notice what they're doing with Shadour Sanders, they were way off. Because fan backlash, it's already in full swing. From Twitter threads to TikTok videos, the entire timeline is calling out the obvious favoritism. People are not just questioning Dillon Gabriel's reps, they're demanding answers about why Shedeur isn't getting the same shot. Some are even boycotting the next preseason game altogether. No Sanders, no support. And it's not just Shedeur's loyal fan base speaking up. Neutral football fans, even rival team supporters are scratching their heads, asking, why is this guy not playing? The outrage isn't just emotional. It's intellectual. People recognize what talent looks like, and they're not seeing it reflected in how the Browns are distributing chances. Even the media can't fully ignore it. You're starting to hear more subtle questions being slipped into interviews. Where's Sanders? Why wasn't he cleared if he suited up? What's the real timeline? Because whether the team likes it or not, the pressure is mounting. This isn't just about a quarterback sitting out. It's about the millions watching who see through the silence and they're not staying quiet. The Browns might control who takes the next snap, but they don't control the narrative anymore.
Yeah, I think this is like the installation of their 2-point package. This is the first time we've really seen them go for a 2-point after a touchdown. This was a gotta-have-it drill, 45 seconds, and you had to get to the end zone, and then you needed the 2-point to win the game. And we saw this before they left Berea. They had one, not a whole period, but there was a period where they ran a few of these hook and lateral plays.
This isn't just about two quarterbacks fighting for reps. This is about the future of an NFL franchise, and the Browns are walking a very thin line. Because every snap they give to Dillon Gabriel over Shadour Sanders, it's being watched, recorded, and judged by fans, analysts, scouts, and players across the league. And if they bet on the wrong guy, the cost isn't just bad stats. It's lost trust, broken locker room chemistry, and a wave of criticism the team may not be ready for. The Browns saw what Shedeur did in college. They know he's built for pressure. He's already more media-ready, more marketable, and arguably more polished under fire than most rookie quarterbacks this season. Holding him back, whether due to politics, preference, or internal agendas, isn't just risky, it's short-sighted. Meanwhile, Gabriel is being handed chance after chance, and the returns aren't exactly franchise-saving. If the Browns are wrong, if they snub the quarterback who could have changed their future to play it safe with someone easier to manage, that decision could haunt the front office and coaching staff for years to come. And here's what's crazy, they still have time to get it right. But every day that Shedeur is sidelined without a solid reason, they dig that hole a little deeper. And sooner or later, they're going to have to answer for it on the field and off it. At face value, this looks like a normal quarterback competition. One injured, one stepping in, no big deal, right? But when you pull back the curtain, it's hard not to see a carefully crafted narrative, one that protects Dillon Gabriel while quietly benching Shadour Sanders. Because if Shedeur had thrown that ugly interception, it would have been headline news. If he missed a single practice rep, he'd be labeled unreliable. But Gabriel throws picks that vanish from stat sheets, gets starter reps without proving much, and still gets the benefit of the doubt. That's not competition, that's a setup. And fans see it. The silence around Shedeur isn't just frustrating, it's revealing. It shows a team trying to steer the spotlight instead of earning it. It hints at politics behind the scenes, decisions made before the pads ever went on. So here's the question that needs to be asked. If Shadour Sanders had Gabriel's chances, would this even be a debate? Or better yet, if Gabriel had to earn it the way Shedeur already did, would he still be starting? The fans already have their answer. Now we wait to see if the Browns finally open their eyes. Or double down on a decision that could cost them everything.